My most vivid impressions from '72. I was shocked by the lack of ability to go anywhere, to do anything. We couldn't, we stayed at the Inn Tourist Hotel. Now it's a Ritz-Carlton. We were not allowed to go across Red Square, by the way, and we were not allowed to cross certain areas to get even close to the Kremlin. Soldiers with guns would put "niet, niet," and say "niet, niet" to us, and we were not allowed to go anywhere. There was obviously no mall like there is now there in Red Squares, and there were no restaurants, and we couldn't go anywhere. It was restrictive, very, very restrictive. Quite frankly, I didn't like it. And my ambition and my only focus was to play the games, win the games, and get the hell out of Russia. I did say when I got back to Canada, I will never, ever go back to Russia, ever. And that's why it took 40 years. I was an idiot. I was a stubborn, stupid fool. Well, first I've got a call from couple of people. I'll never forget, I'm in my home. I'm having a dinner party in Florida, in Tampa, Florida. And I get a call, it's 10:30 at night. And I said, who is this? And he said, well, I'm calling from Ottawa and I work with, she didn't say the Prime Minister, but maybe the Deputy Prime Minister, maybe, I can't recall. And I said, are you kidding me? She says, we'd like you to go to Moscow. I says, I'm not going to Moscow, no chance. And I hung up the phone. I went back in and told all the guests about this call, and they all thought it was a joke. And I thought it was a joke too. And then I get a call from Scotty McPherson. He said, Phil, this is a serious thing. They would really like you to come over here. Then Ronnie Duguay called me. And Ronnie is a guy I played hockey with, good friend, a real good friend. And he told me the same thing. And I said, okay, let's do it. When am I going? When are we gonna go? None of us really knew what to expect. None of us. And we were coming over and we were enjoying ourselves on the airplane. I remember saying to John Paul Parisi, who has since passed, I said, JP, I said, you believe we're doing this again? He says, I didn't think we ever do this again. and here we are going there and landing there, and I'll never forget getting off the airplane. All these people started to run. All the reporters come towards me as we just went through customs. And I'm looking around like, who's on the airplane? And my wife says to me, she says, what is going on? I said, I don't know. And then she said, oh my God, they're coming at you. Who am I with? Brad Pitt of hockey? And we all died laughing, but it was really unique. And then they hustled me off to a press conference. I remember walking in and the place was, there had to be 100 people from the press and television cameras, and I'm thinking, wow, this is incredible. This is a big deal. I never realized and sensed that it was a big deal until that moment.
Иногда, чтобы понять значение того или иного события, требуется пережить его и пережить время. Фил Эспозито приехал в Москву через 40 лет после того, как серия завершилась. У него были разные ожидания, и он не был уверен, насколько помнится та серия, насколько помнится в народе матчи и противостояния. Для него было открытием, что серия 1972 года стала поворотным моментом для всего мирового спорта. Именно после этой серии стали возможны открытые Олимпийские игры, стали возможны состязания сильнейших против сильнейших. И вот этот приезд перевернул многое. И мы были рады его видеть, и он был рад. И он увидел, что одно дело столько лет назад, а другое дело – это сегодняшний день. А сегодня он оказался среди друзей, среди единомышленников и среди тех, кому испытывает уважение и кто уважает его. Вот это, наверное, и есть самое главное в человеческой жизни – увидеть признание. И он его увидел.
I don't think that we understood, and I don't think they understood what this series has meant to hockey in general. And as the years go on, the more it becomes important of what we did in 1972.
Then I realized that, hey, look, this is something. And all of a sudden we started to see the city. Honestly, I can't explain it. I can't express it. The difference between then and 2012, and of course now, the difference is phenomenal. You have no idea what it was like. And now, heck, Moscow, St. Petersburg, vibrant, beautiful cities that the people are fabulous and everybody is nice and great restaurants, a lot of nightlife, a lot of fun. You know, we don't get a lot of pictures and stuff from Russia and North America where you see how the people are. And it was a revelation. It was a real revelation. I just felt that the way it is now is the way it should have been forever. But things happen.
Со временем, вы знаете, мы очень сильно подружились. Почему? Потому что он действительно не только великий хоккеист, но он и великий человек. Он действительно понимает, что те игроки 1972 года – это как единая семья. И с той стороны, и с нашей стороны. Почему? Потому что мы сделали большое дело. Мы показали миру, что есть не только канадский хоккей, но и есть европейский хоккей. И мы были открыватели, как Космос и Гагарин, так и мы, две команды, были открыватели мирового уровня, что-то новое, внесли в игру прекрасного этого вида спорта. И у нас сегодня отношения, наверное, самые-самые теплые. Не только с ним, но и со всеми игроками Канады. А с ним особо. Мы его постоянно приглашаем к себе на разные мероприятия. И вот когда проходили торжества по случаю игр 1972 года, президент нашей страны принял делегацию 1972 года. И я его приглашаю на разные турниры, и он с удовольствием приезжает. И я хочу сказать, что действительно великий игрок и прекрасный человек, и мой друг.
And I remember being very leery about going to lunch with President Putin. And there were 4 or 5 of us guys from that 72 team, along with Yakushev and Mikhailov and Tretiak. And I was sitting right across from Mr. Putin. And I looked in his eyes. I liked him immediately.
Серия 1972 года, в которой вы все принимали участие, была, безусловно, одним из самых ярких событий мирового хоккея 20 века. Я не покривлю душой. Вы у нас были не менее популярными, чем наши игроки. И вас до сих пор помнят в России.
He and I, let me put it this way. You ever look somebody in the eye and there's that spark? That there's this, I don't know, like I'm looking right now at the camera and I'm telling you, there's that spark in the eye. When I looked at Mr. Putin that way, I saw that back. You understand? That's what I felt. And at first, I was very, very back-offish. I backed off and I just looked and I wasn't sure of how to react. I wasn't sure whether I was going to be politically correct or not, because I've been known to be a little bit out there. But didn't have to be. Didn't have to be at all. I just had to be myself. And I liked that, because that's what he was in that luncheon. That's what he was. And then I got to tell you this story too. I saw President Putin in 1-year anniversary of the Sochi Olympics. I came. And I sat right behind him, and I believe Vladimir Tretiak was on one side, and maybe Boris Mikhailov was on the other side, because I remember Yakashev was sitting beside him. And I remember thinking, how the heck did I get here? Why am I the only non-Olympian at this thing? It was fabulous. And then after the thing, we had commissioned, Scotty McPherson had commissioned a painting of Mr. Putin in a hockey uniform. We kept that painting for about 1.5 years before the opportunity to present it to him. And we had that opportunity in Sochi. And I remember it there, and he comes in and he looks at it and he says, "That's very good." You know, the interpreter was saying it. "That's very good." He says, "Everything is perfect on this painting, to the Federation on the crest over here, to his expression in his face and his eyes." And then he made a little joke and he says, "But I don't think my body you must have used your body." And I said, "No, that body is too small for me." And he laughed. And I thought, wow, this is great. And I got to tell you, right then I said, oh, this man's got a sense of humor too, you know? I like him. When I went back to the United States, I told people that I was so impressed with President Putin because of, not only because of his power or whatever, but because he was a human being to me. And I learned something. People are the same all over the world. You know what the difference is? Politics and religion. And what do we fight about? Politics and religion. Other than that, everybody's the same. I have developed a special bond with Russia. I have. Did I anticipate it? No. Look, coming here, these 6 or 7 or 8 times or whenever I've been up here, has been absolutely fabulous. I've met some unbelievable people, and the hospitality couldn't be any better. Couldn't be any better. And again, the difference from 72 to now is undescribable. I've been everywhere in Russia. I've been to Moscow, St. Petersburg, Yaroslav, Kazan, Sochi, Yukta, Omsk. Man, there's been some other cities too I've been. That's a lot in 5 years. And I had fun everywhere. The people were terrific. Yukta, I remember well because there was a girls' hockey team. And of course, the United States and Canada are very, very good with the girls' hockey team. And they're not doing so well with Russia because they do not support it like that. Omsk, I remember when I went there for the World Junior Championships, and Dmitry Efimov he was the head of it then. And I really got to be a good friends with Dmitry. He was trying to do something along with Alex Medvedev, who was then head of the KHL and Gazprom, to increase junior hockey. They invited a team from Canada, a team from the United States, the USHL. It was a terrific tournament. They played against a bunch of Russian juniors, different cities. It was a fun time. Again, what's to complain about?
Это была бомба, потому что больше всех, наверное, удивилась канадская команда, когда приехал Фил Эспозито. Мне запомнился очень один эпизод. Во время исполнения канадского гимна перед игрой один из игроков не стал дожидаться окончания гимна и что-то поехал уже немножко раскатываться. Фил это приметил, ему это категорически не понравилось. Он потом зашел после игры в раздевалку, отчитал этого парня и сказал, что когда звучит гимн Канады, нужно стоять по стойке смирно, слушать его и думать о предстоящей игре.
And again, I'm going to go back to the people. People are great. I met so many people that I could say that they were my friends. I can't tell you anybody that I've met since I've been in Russia all these times that pissed me off. I can't. I remember the very first time I met President Minnikhanov, who is the president of Tatistran. Scotty said, we're going to go to Tatistran. I said, where's Tatistran? He said, it's a little tiny country in the middle of Russia and a place called Kazan. I said, okay, let's go. We went. As we landed, we went to his office. And then the next day, I think we went to the rink and we played hockey. This guy, President Minnikhanov, loves hockey more than any of the other guys I've been around. You got me skating. Nobody else ever get me skating again, but you got me skating.
Вы снова заставили меня кататься на коньках. Я думал, надо больше повториться. Я снова встал на коньки.
And we played, and I had a great time on the ice. I had a blast with these guys.
Для меня за честь сидеть вот с этим великим хоккеистом. Хотя он был против Советского Союза, но он великий. Да. Благодаря вот таким людям поднимается хоккей. Да. Он даже не знает, как его в России любят. Независимо, какой он страны, какой национальности. Он великий хоккеист. И мы его любим.
I was so surprised at how well I was received by the people in Russia. They didn't forget me from 1972. I guess I was a little bit aggressive, maybe was the right word, but I couldn't lose. I wasn't going to lose. I wasn't going to let any of us lose.
Конечно, Фил Эспозито был одним из самых колоритных игроков. И не только потому, как он играл, но и по своему экстравагантному поведению, своей жестикуляции. И, конечно, мало кто его любил в то время за то, что он забивал нам голы, и атаковал, в том числе и грубил, нарушал правила, грозился перерезать горло кое-кому. Но часто поведение игрока на льду и вне льда, они совершенно разные. И потом, когда я познакомился с Филом, он оказался очень думающим, интеллигентным человеком, который безумно любит хоккей и предан хоккею.
Он выделялся особо, потому что по габаритам он был действительно где-то по 2 метра, с потрясающей прической и всегда таким тяжелым взглядом. И, конечно, он отличался от других своим напором, можно сказать, хоккейным хамством таким. Он капитан, и он вообще, я хочу сказать, что, конечно, лидер в команде, и играть против него было очень интересно. это действительно великий игрок.
Well, I remember Boris Mikhailov and Petrov and Vladimir. I played against every shift, it seemed, and I threw a few elbows at Petrov. I did. There's no doubt about it, to get him away from me. And Boris Mikhailov, I didn't like him at all. I thought he was a very dirty, nasty player. Look, in game 8 of that series, he speared me. And he speared me in a private area. And it hurt. It hurt a lot. And I never got him back. And when I first saw him, when I came here, and now I'm traveling with him, I shook hands with him, and I said, I don't like you. And he says, I don't like you. And I said, well, let me tell you why I don't like you. Because you speared me in the private parts, and I never got you back. He says, you got me back. I said, how? He says, you speared me behind the kneecaps all the time. And I had to go in for surgery on my hamstring. And I said, I did that? He said, yes, you did. And I put my hand out and I said, we're even. And from that moment on, I was his friend. And I'm still his friend, I hope, because I like Boris. This guy was as competitive a player as I've ever played against in my life. I think of all the players on that Russian team in '72, he was the one who was most passionate about winning. He was a very good player, but I can tell you, my feeling is the best player on that team at that time was Alexander Yakashev. He was the one guy that I was afraid of that could beat us. Every time that I go on with him, I think of the series, 1972, and how much we feared him when he went on the ice. We used to say, you gotta stop Yakashev. My brother said he shoots the puck harder than Bobby Hull. So, he did.
После 1972 года никогда не думал, что у нас будут такие дружеские отношения. После вот этого его жеста. Казалось, мы были в глазах друг друга такими противниками, даже можно сказать врагами. И не предполагали, что будут спустя вот 44 года самые наши первые встречи состоятся в Москве на Красной площади. Это фантастика.
Надо сказать, что действительно его российский народ очень полюбил и любит, и всегда рады его приезду в Россию. Мы всегда с удовольствием встречаемся, с удовольствием общаемся и надеемся на долгую-долгую дружбу не только между собой, да, но между всеми игроками, всеми спортсменами, канадскими хоккеистами, которые участвовали и которые сейчас будут участвовать во всех этих сериях. Мы, в общем-то, надеемся на то, что наши отношения, не только спортивные, но и отношения человеческие, они останутся такими же теплыми и дружественными.
One thing from the 1972 series, it took 40, 45 years to understand that the way the Russian government the way the business people here have treated those guys from the 72 team, from the 80 team, from the guys that are playing in the NHL now is phenomenal. They treat them with respect. They give them jobs. Yakushev, for example, is a big wheel in some of this hockey, and so is Boris Mikhailov and Tretiak, Fetisov. I could go on and on. And I say this in all due respect. If you think about it, in Canada or North America, they don't do that. We have guys from that 72 team that are hurting, that are struggling mightily. We're trying very hard to help them. Business, they don't come forward over there. It's, what can you do for me now? Who is there now? Now the players nowadays, they don't care. They make enough money that they don't care. So why not? Why not go to the older player? They're probably better versed. They're probably better in business. They're probably better in dealing with people. And the Russians have figured a way on how to do that. And I'm envious. I am a little jealous about it. But God bless them. Good for them. And when I got to meet some of these guys, I thought, wow, never mind the players. It was the people behind the scenes that impressed me. There was people like Medvedev, people like Arkady Djokovic. Arkady is very astute, very smart guy, again, another one that I met that's a terrific guy. I couldn't believe it. They all backed the hockey, and they all backed the old guys. And they're all businessmen. All of these guys are very, very businessmen. And they all have their own hockey teams. And that actually blew me away. I watch these guys, you know, I mean, they are not great on the ice, but on the other hand, they love it.
Когда мы играем в хоккей и понимаем, что Фил уже много лет не играл, что его возраст уже достаточно почтенный, тем не менее, его взгляд на то, как мы играем, когда он смотрит на нас, понимает, что мы играем не просто в игру, не просто в хоккей, а мы любим эту игру, мы играем сердцем. Его взгляд не может уже остановить его от того, чтобы он сам вышел на лед и начал играть. И он это делает, находясь в России, потому что видит, что мы этого хотим, видит, что мы действительно любим эту игру и хотим играть с большим сердцем, с любовью. Когда он на льду оказывается, и мы это видели вместе со своим соперником, а теперь большим другом Александром Якушевым, когда Фил и Александр вместе на льду против друг друга или в одной команде, это возвращение легенд обратно в игру, на лед. Все улыбаются, одновременно могут и слезы наворачиваться на глаза. Мы понимаем, что хоккей – это маленький мир, но в то же время этот маленький мир делает наш большой мир лучше.
Most of these people say, man, I remember watching you when I was a kid. I look at them, and sometimes they're in their 40s or their 50s, and I think, wow, am I old or what? Cat, but I'm still going. I recently told somebody, just because there's snow on the roof doesn't mean there's no fire in the chimney. And they laughed, and that's the way I feel. I feel wonderful, I feel healthy, I feel strong. I don't let that bother me when people say I was a kid when you were playing here. Doesn't bother me anymore. It did in the beginning, I've got to admit that, because I wanted to say, who the hell are you kidding, you know? But it doesn't bother me anymore. And I try to go on the ice with these guys. I still try to do it. And I try to skate. I try to play hockey. And it's frustrating because I can't do what I used to do. And anybody that has done something like in the sport profession, you know that you can't stop age. No matter what you do, you can't stop that age. Just like you can't stop progress. And your reflexes are not there anymore. I want to shoot the puck, but it doesn't go where I want it to, where it always did. Always. I never missed a net. I never missed a spot. And sometimes it gets frustrating for me because I feel like I'm being judged. And I don't like that. I don't know whether that's the right word or not, but all the powerful people that I've met in politics and in business in this country, I want them to remember me as I was, not as I am, as a hockey player, but I want them to remember me as a person and what I do.
Спустя много лет после того, как Фил Эспозито повесил коньки на гвоздь, он стал комментатором. Он комментирует хоккейные матчи, но вот после приезда в Россию он вдруг увидел, что хоккей является своеобразной формой дипломатии. Это та самая народная дипломатия, когда люди говорят друг с другом без обиняков, когда сердца открыты. И вот это поразило его больше всего, и он решил, что теперь он может продолжать заниматься именно вот этой хоккейной дипломатией, потому что в этом, может быть, и есть высокий смысл и предназначение настоящей спортивной звезды.
Я видел его, если можно так сказать, в деле. Я видел его в том же Омске на Кубке мира, во время многих ветеранских игр и в Москве, и в Ярославле, в Питере. Он приезжает как такой именно, фактически, как некий хоккейный посол Канады или всей Северной Америки, НХЛ. И когда люди видят его таким человечным, добрым, открытым, веселым, это, конечно, настраивает всех на позитивный лад. И я думаю, что то, что делает Фил, гораздо эффективнее того, что делают многие политики сегодня.
Спортивная хоккейная дипломатия – это реалии нашей жизни. Поэтому Фил не жалеет своего времени, участвует в этих мероприятиях. Кроме того, все-таки у него опыт работы с клубом Тампа Бэй, один из успешных сейчас клубов НХЛ. И то, что он всегда через свои каналы поддерживает идею контактов между НХЛ и КХЛ, Россией, Канадой и США. Я думаю, мы увидим плоды такой работы. Чем больше будет таких людей, как Фил, тем легче мы придем к результату.
Я думаю, что Фил действительно вносит серьезный вклад в такую спортивную дипломатию, как и другие большие игроки, большие спортсмены, закончившие играть. Они стараются делать вещи, которые делают мир лучше, создают дружескую атмосферу, делают людей друзьями, заставляют людей слушать. Люди, уважая таких людей, как Фил, прислушиваясь к ним, начинают лучше относиться к своим друзьям, коллегам, партнерам за рубежом, в таких странах, как Канада, Соединенные Штаты Америки. И это хорошо. Это действительно делает наш мир лучше, и Фил делает большое дело, продолжает такую активность.
There's nothing more I can say except that I've become very, very attached to this country, and the greatest compliment I can ever give is the fact that if I could make a good living here, I'd live here. If I had to, I would live here. It would take me a lot to get away from Florida, though.